All right, folks. God bless you, and welcome back to this Zip Before the Fire. Okay, listen. I'm gonna start on my video. I'm still gonna do my video tonight, but I got all that out. I needed to vent, and I kind of needed just to make a joke out of it. And I'm sorry if you guys thought thought Johnny's a little bit off the rails here, but you see, you really have no idea of the serious and the gravity of it. Let me give you a very quick example. I was at home. I want you to trade places with me. Pretend you're me. I was at home with my son Trinity. I had a headset on. I was in the back room, kind of like I am now. And there was a knock at the door. Trinity answered the door. Clay was there. And Trinity answered the door. There was a guy dressed there very nicely. He was wearing a Columbia jacket, slacks, looked like a very professional person. Trinity came back and said, "Dad, there's someone at the door for you. He said he's a lawyer." At night. It's pretty weird, right? I went to the door. I told everybody on the radio, "Hey, I'll be right back." Did a commercial. Went to the door, and this guy says, "Hey, my name's Solomon. You?" He was dressed very. I'm an attorney. I've come all the way from Pennsylvania. Don't you think that's a little weird? And I was like, okay. So I said, and so now I have a program going. I got my son there. There's some guy that says he's a lawyer. I don't know who this guy is. So I say, okay, well, why don't you come with me? I take him back to my recording area. I shut the door. I tell Trin, I'm like, hey, you know, while I put my headset on, I tell him, "I'm sorry, what was your name again?" Solomon Hughes here from, where'd you say you're from? Pennsylvania. I identify him on the radio. I start with my program, looking over the guy. He's manifesting demonically instantly. So now I let a demon in my house. As he's starting to manifest this demonic presence and he's talking and doing this back and forth to himself, I'm like, oh, great. I tell everybody I'll be back. I don't know. Some people in this audience may remember that. I don't know. Anyway, so I say, okay, you know what? It's time for you to go. And he starts, confrontational. Now he's in my house. Now some guy's in my house. It's getting confrontational. I don't know who he is. And I said, okay, that's it. I call 911. I have an unwelcome guest in my house. Here's my address. And I said, you got a few minutes to get out of here. And so he's starting to become confrontational. And I'm like, okay, on the way to the door, I grab my cell phone. I turn on my cell phone on my camera. And I'm walking him to the door. And I open the door. And he turns around. He blocks the door. He tries to come in as a forced home invasion. At that point, because I have my sixth grader there, I have to grab a phone, open a lock blade knife very quickly, and that's one of the things I trained with in martial arts. And I told him, I said, if you come one more step, this is going to happen right now. So I was put in a horrible position where I almost killed somebody on my front porch, trying to force their way back into my house. Okay, so in my last video, I was trying to make light of it and bring up some of the ridiculous stuff that's happened. But I've had several instances like Solomon U. So anyone that would call my cell phone or leave me a message or stop by my house, you know what? In my book, you need to just be slapped. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Okay, in my last video, a lot of people were like, oh, Johnny, I haven't seen this part of your personality. I'm like, really? I'm trying to make a joke and kind of keep it lighthearted, but I'll just say it like it is. Anyone that does something like that and leaves a message or hunts down my cell phones, you know what? Showing up here would be a very, very bad move for you. And I was just trying to give everybody a little bit of a pass. And then I saw comments, and there were actually comments in that last video. Oh, ask God who I am, and you should know who I am. It's like, shut up. You know what? What a joke. Do you understand? Do y'all understand what I deal with? Okay, so now, on a lighter note, I took the last video and I just put it on private for a while. I'll let it sit there for a while. Those of you that got to see it, you understand. Like I said, I was trying to make light of the situation that's actually a very grave situation. Do you know how many times I've had stuff that's really bad happen, there's been some pretty bad situations. So, without going into on, did you know there was an attempted kidnapping on me? Did y'all know that? It was like a stab and grab attempt. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so anyone that shows up here, I'm just going to say it directly. You will be considered a hostile threat, and I'll deal with you accordingly. Guaranteed. In the story. And if you think I'm supposed to care who God says you are, you know what? That's an Italian gesture. Go look it up. Okay, and if anyone says, where's the love of God? You know what? Piss off. Try and go a mile in my shoes. You couldn't do it. I was trying to make light of it with Cory, but you know what? Okay. Anyway, so just made my point. All right. So anyway, like I said, I was just trying to make light of some of the crazy stuff, but now I just told you some of the other stuff. So if anyone thinks they're going to judge me on that, you know what? You don't belong here. You don't. Because when it comes to being a real and just honest person and tell you the truth and tell you what goes on in my world, you won't probably find people like me. But I'm willing to share my life, what goes on. And I'm willing to share a few laughs on how crazy it gets. Because it does. It gets nutty. And then there's stuff that gets really dangerous. Can you imagine some guy forcing himself into your house with a sixth grader there that's terrified? Can you imagine someone showing up at your house and you have children? That's an imminent threat. And you know what I'll do to an imminent threat? That's what I'll do. So I'm just going to lay it out for the record. Okay, so anyone, I'm making a record of it. Anyone that shows up at my house, makes a phone call to my phone, uninvited, unannounced, you'll be dealt with as a hostile threat. Okay? Period. Okay. Now there's the other side, the not so lighthearted Johnny, okay? But like I said, I was trying to share with you guys some of the insanity that happens. And, you know, like I said, some of it's like, it's funny. It's like, oh, I can't believe you would say Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. It's like, really, shut up. That's a joke. It's like, sometimes I can't believe some Christians have zero sense of humor. Oh, it's like, I don't think you're one of us then, honestly. I really don't. I'm serious. Some people think it's wrong to have, oh my God, you have a friend that's FBI. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that David and Saul, Joseph, and the king of Egypt? Joseph was second in charge of Egypt. Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, John. I can't tell you how annoying and nauseating it is to see pontificating Christians that have never walked in my shoes one block. They couldn't do it. But they're so, oh, how dare you. It's like, you don't belong here. Just going to say it, you don't. How could you? How come you couldn't honestly go, good God, how horrible that someone would overstep those boundaries? Do you know how many I have saved on this one phone in the last couple months? It's ridiculous. And I'm just telling you, I'm done. That's it. No more quarter. That's it. Okay? Just for the record, that's it. No more quarter. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Ha ha ha. That's it. One more call. Anyone crashes my phone, I'll get your metadata. Guaranteed. Got it? Okay. All right, now see how it's so even what I'm doing tonight is a result of that nonsense. Can you believe that? That would put a negative spin on what I'm doing for the Lord. Can you imagine that? Good luck with that. I'm sure the one whom I serve is going to make it really good for you. I'm being really sarcastic. I can assure you, just like the ones that serve the Lord, those that get in his way, I'm sure the Lord has his own way of doing things because I've seen it. So anyway, all right. So now I'm going to let this be a standalone video. The other one I'm going to put on private, and then if you got to see it, you got to see me and Cory just kind of cracking up about how stupid it gets sometimes. And at least I'm real enough to share with you just how weird my life gets sometimes. hmm And those people that thought they would leave a comment like, I need to pray and ask the Lord who you are and how come I haven't received you. How arrogant can you get? That's nauseating. Okay? So I saved your metadata too. FYI. Okay. Anyway. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to get back to what I do. I'm going to give you what the Lord's given me. I'm going to go drink some coffee, put some drops in my red eyes, and then I'm going to come back and go, wow, I can't believe the dweebs that are trying to crash my phone have wasted this much of my time in one evening that I could have been delivering to everybody else. And yeah, in my book, you're a total dweeb. That's it. And I've stated publicly, anyone that shows up or calls my phone will be considered a hostile threat. Therefore, if you do it, then I'll deal with you accordingly. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to make this very short. I'm going to get to the next one, and let's get back to business, okay? And then I'm not going to give them any oxygen so they can go do their own weird little thing, okay? That's it.